Table 9 was right next to the kitchen doors. Every time a server pushed through, I got a blast of heat and the clatter of dishes. To my left, a toddler screamed into his mashed potatoes. To my right, someone's twice-removed cousin scrolled TikTok with the volume on. Up front, at the head table under the fairy lights, my brother raised a champagne flute and kissed his bride. My parents beamed. Her parents applauded. I sat alone, watched the whole thing from the cheap seats. Then the photographer crouched next to me, confused look on his face. "I'm sorry," he said. "You're listed as the client who paid my invoice." "Why are you back here?" I smiled. Took a sip of lukewarm water. "Good question," I said. "Because I didn't just pay for the photographer. I paid for everything. The venue, the catering, the florals, the DJ, $47,000. Every single cent. And nobody at that wedding knew. Except me, and now him. So how does the person who funded the whole wedding end up by the kitchen, invisible and forgotten? Let me back up 6 months. But first, drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what time is it? And if you've ever been the family ATM, hit that like button. You'll want to stay for this. I built my software consultancy over 8 years. 60-hour weeks, late nights fixing code while my friends were out at bars. I learned from a mentor who taught me 2 things. 1, always deliver more than you promise. 2, save every email. That second rule saved me more than once. My brother? He took a different path. Community college for a year and a half, then 3 startups that never made it past the Instagram announcement post. Each one funded by our parents. Each one failing quietly while he moved on to the next big idea. I was the responsible one. He was the dreamer. That's what our parents always said. Translation? I worked, he coasted. I succeeded quietly. He failed loudly and got praised for trying. Golden child versus the workhorse. I'm sure you know the dynamic. When we were kids, I came home with straight A's and got a nod. He passed gym class and got a cake. I paid for my own car. They co-signed his lease on a BMW he couldn't afford. I stopped keeping score around age 25. But I never stopped keeping records. I had a folder on my desktop. Family, just in case. Texts, emails, Venmo screenshots. Every promise, every ask, every time I was told, "We'll pay you back." I didn't do it out of spite. I did it out of pattern recognition. Because in my family, the story changed depending on who was telling it. So when my brother got engaged and my parents started calling more often, I already knew something was coming. I just didn't know how big. The first call came from my mom on a Thursday night. "Hey, sweetie, quick question. Your brother's wedding venue needs a deposit by Monday. His credit's a little maxed out right now. Could you help family out? Just this once?" I'd heard just this once about a dozen times before. I kept my voice calm. "I'll contribute $5,000 as a wedding gift," I said. That's it. Silence on the other end, then a sigh. "Okay, I'll let him know." She hung up fast. A week later, my brother, my parents, and his fiancée showed up at my apartment. Unannounced. My brother carried a 3-ring binder. He sat down at my kitchen table and opened it. Venue contract, catering quote, floral estimate, photography package, DJ rider. "We put together the full budget," he said, smiling like a startup pitch. "It's a lot, I know. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and you're doing really well. We just need a little help to make it perfect." My dad leaned in. "Family takes care of family," he said. "Don't be selfish now." My mom touched my hand. "He's your only brother." And then my brother looked me in the eye. "I'll pay you back," he said. "I promise. Payment plan, signed agreement, whatever you want. I just need this." I felt the walls close in. 4 people. 1 binder, 1 silent expectation. I said yes. Worst mistake I ever made? I wired the deposits the next morning. Venue, $12,000. Caterer, $18,000. Photographer, $8,500. Florist, $4,000. DJ, $3,000. Bartending service, $1,500. $47,000. Gone in 6 transfers. Every contract had my name on it. Client, payer, contact for day of coordination. My brother sent a text that afternoon. "You're a lifesaver. I'll get you a payment plan by next week." Next week came. No payment plan. I followed up. Super busy with wedding stuff. Soon. A month later, he posted photos from Aruba, honeymoon suite, champagne, infinity pool. Caption, "Feeling blessed?" I texted him. "Hey, can we talk about the payment plan?" No response. I texted again 2 days later. Read receipt, no reply. I tried once more. Nothing. A week before the wedding, my mom called. "Quick heads up, honey. We had to shuffle the seating chart. The bride's family needs the front tables for their guests. We put you at table 9. You understand, right? It's just logistics. Logistics. $47,000, and I got a table by the kitchen. I wanted to skip the wedding, just ghost it. But I didn't, because I had a better idea. I opened my wedding folder that night. Every vendor contract was in there, saved as PDFs, backed up twice. I pulled up the photography agreement. Client name, my full name. Payer, me. Balance paid in full, $8,500. Then I saw the clause at the bottom, Section 12, Acknowledgements and Credits. Photographer may, at the client's request, provide brief verbal acknowledgement of sponsors or clients during the reception. I read it 3 times. Then I opened my email and wrote to the photographer. Hi, just a quick note. I'd love a brief acknowledgement during the reception if you get a chance. I'll be seated at table 9. Thanks so much for all your amazing work. He replied in under an hour. Absolutely. You've been wonderful to work with. I'll make sure to thank you during my remarks. See you Saturday. I sat back, closed the laptop, let out a long breath. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to make a scene. I was going to let the truth speak for itself, in front of everyone, at the moment when my brother thought he looked the best. All I had to do was show up, smile, and wait. The photographer would do the rest. I opened a bottle of wine that night. For the first time in months, I slept well. Wedding day, I drove to the venue alone. The family group chat had gone silent. No can't wait to see you messages. No save me a dance, nothing. I walked in during cocktail hour. My mom intercepted me by the escort card table. You look nice, she said. Then quieter. Try not to draw attention today, okay? This is your brother's day. I smiled, nodded, said nothing. I found table 9, grabbed a glass of wine from the bar, watched my brother pose for photos with the groomsmen. During dinner, the best man stood up to give a toast. I've known this guy since college, he said, grinning. And let me tell you, he hustled to make this day happen. All his hard work finally paying off. And of course, huge shout out to the bride's parents for their incredible generosity. Everyone clapped. My brother raised his glass. The bride's parents waved from table 2. My name, not mentioned, not even hinted at. My aunt leaned over from the next chair. I can't believe you didn't even chip in, she whispered. After everything your parents did for you. I took a sip of wine. Didn't correct her. Because in about 20 minutes, the photographer was scheduled to give his remarks. And every single person in that room was about to find out exactly who paid for what. Let them enjoy their dinner. The main course was coming. While the salad plates were being cleared, I pulled out my phone, opened my texts with my brother from the week before. There it was. Hey, can you just stay low-key at the wedding? Her parents think they paid for most of it, and I want to keep it that way. Thanks. I'd never replied. I opened my banking app, pulled up the transfer summary from the past 6 months. Total sent, $47,000. Total received, 0. I scrolled through my email. Vendor confirmations, every single one addressed to me. Thank you for your payment, my name. Excited to work with you, my name. Client contact for day of, my name, my phone number. Not one mentioned my brother. Not one mentioned the bride's parents. Just me, over and over. I screenshotted 3 of them. Saved them to a new album labeled Wedding Evidence. Then I put my phone away. Smiled at the couple cutting into their entrees. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even hurt. I was done. And the photographer was walking toward the DJ booth, microphone in hand. He was about to earn every single penny of that $8,500. I should have seen it earlier. The whole thing made sense once I put the pieces together. My brother's last startup had failed. Publicly. Articles written. Investors angry. Quiet shame. He needed a win. He needed to look successful, especially to his new in-laws. The bride's family was old money, traditional. Her father owned a commercial real estate firm. They expected a son-in-law who had his life together. So my brother told them he was financing the wedding himself. Proof that he was stable, successful, worthy. He couldn't ask them for money. That would have shattered the image. But he could ask me, and I'd stay quiet. I always did. My parents went along with it because the golden child needed to shine. If he looked bad, they looked bad. The family myth required him to win. I was the silent bank, the invisible support, the person who made things work while someone else took the credit. I remembered something my dad said to me months earlier when I hesitated about the first deposit. Your brother has a reputation to protect. Not a wedding to enjoy, not a marriage to celebrate. A reputation. That's all it ever was. Image over integrity, appearances over honesty. And I was supposed to fund the lie and then disappear. Not anymore. Now I knew exactly what to do. I didn't need to shout. I didn't need to stand up and make a speech. The plan was clean, surgical. The photographer would make his standard client acknowledgement, public, polite, completely factual. And when people asked questions, and they would, I'd tell the truth. Calmly. With receipts if necessary. After tonight, I was done. No more money, no more covering for lies, no more playing small so someone else could look big. I'd already drafted an email to a family law attorney I knew. Subject line, boundary letter and cease contact. If my brother or my parents came after me for embarrassing the family, I'd respond once. Through a lawyer, with a request to discuss repayment or end contact entirely. No yelling, no blow-ups, just boundaries. And consequences. I pulled out my phone under the table, opened my text thread with the photographer, typed 4 words, ready when you are. He replied with a thumbs-up emoji. I locked my phone, set it face down on the table, folded my hands. Across the room, the DJ faded the music. The photographer stepped up to the mic, smiling. My brother leaned back in his chair, arm around his bride, completely relaxed. He had no idea. Nobody did. But in about 30 seconds, the whole room was about to learn the truth. The photographer adjusted the mic and smiled at the room. Hey everyone, I just want to take a moment to thank the beautiful couple for letting me be part of this incredible day. Applause. My brother waved. The photographer continued. I also want to thank my client, my name, seated at table 9, for trusting me with such an important event. Your generosity and professionalism made all of this possible. Silence. Absolute silence. Heads turned. 150 people, all looking toward the back corner by the kitchen. The photographer, oblivious to the tension, walked straight over to my table, extended his hand. I stood, shook it, smiled. Thank you, I said. You did beautiful work. He grinned, patted my shoulder, and walked back to his station. I sat down. The room stayed quiet for 5 long seconds. Then the whispers started. My mom's face went white. My brother froze mid-sip, champagne glass hovering. The bride looked confused, and the bride's father, sitting at table 2, stood up, walked straight toward me. Excuse me, he said, voice low but firm. Did he just say you paid for the photographer? I met his eyes, kept my voice calm. Photography, venue, catering, florals, and DJ, I said. 47,000 total. Congratulations on the wedding. He stared at me, then turned slowly toward the head table. My brother tried to stand. The bride grabbed his arm. Her father held up one hand, silencing him, and walked back to his seat. He leaned over to his wife, whispered something. Her expression changed. She looked at my brother, then at me. My mom rushed over, heels clicking on the hardwood. Why would you do this? She hissed. Why would you embarrass him like this? I looked up at her. I didn't do anything, I said. I just didn't lie. She opened her mouth, closed it, walked away. My brother didn't approach me. He stayed at the head table, face red, jaw tight. The bride's parents left before the cake was cut. I stayed for another 20 minutes, finished my wine. Then I stood up, grabbed my coat, and walked out. No dramatic exit, no speech, just done. My phone exploded that night. 17 missed calls, a dozen voicemails. My brother crying and yelling. My mom cold and furious. My dad somewhere in between. The messages swung from rage to guilt to bargaining. How could you embarrass us? You ruined his wedding. We're family. You're supposed to protect family. I listened to none of them all the way through. Deleted everyone. Then I sent a single text to the family group chat. I'm happy to discuss repayment through attorneys. Otherwise, we're done. I blocked all 3 of them. Then I blocked 5 extended family members who tried to play mediator. The next morning, I called the attorney, paid the retainer, had a boundaries letter drafted and sent via certified mail. No contact unless repayment begins. Any further requests for money will be considered financial harassment. Any public disparagement will be addressed through legal channels, signed, dated, delivered. No repayment ever came. A week later, I heard through a mutual friend that the bride's parents had asked their daughter if she wanted an annulment consult. She didn't go through with it, but the marriage started on a foundation of exposed lies. My brother's Instagram went dark. No more entrepreneur posts. No more blessed captions. My parents sent my aunt to try one last time. I didn't answer the door. 6 months later, I started therapy. Worked through decades of being the invisible support system. Learned what healthy boundaries actually look like. I took the $47,000 I'd written off emotionally and redirected that energy. Started a small donor fund for kids in foster care. Put $5,000 in the first year. It felt better than any wedding ever could. A year after the wedding, I got a text from my brother. Just one line. "I'm sorry. I was wrong." I read it. Thought about it for a long time. Then I archived it. Didn't reply. Didn't block him again. Just let it sit there, unacknowledged. The boundary held. I didn't get my money back. But I got something more important. I got myself back. Silence isn't peace if it costs you your dignity. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is the truth. And then walk away. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been the family ATM? Did you set a boundary or did you stay silent? Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone. And if this story hit home, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more where this came from. This has been a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thanks for listening.